Academy of Golden Magic. In a small town, there lived a curious and brave girl named Emily. While life in her town was peaceful, Emily couldn't shake the feeling that somewhere far beyond the town, beyond the fields and forests, something extraordinary was hidden. One sunny morning, while Emily was playing in the garden, she noticed something unusual. A mysterious letter appeared in the air, swirling in the wind, and finally danced right in front of her curious nose. The letter was packed in a decorative envelope with a strange symbol that looked like a star surrounded by circles. Emily couldn't believe her eyes. She grabbed the letter, opened it, and began to read. "Dear child, you have a great opportunity ahead of you. I invite you to our school, where you can develop your talents, meet wonderful friends, and learn extraordinary things. Our school is located in a place you won't find on any map, but don't worry, we will help you get there. Our world is not just books and tasks, but also beautiful adventures waiting right around the corner. We look forward to welcoming you. Signed, the Academy of Golden Magic." Emily stared at the letter, unsure of what to think. She was amazed, but also a little surprised. What kind of school was this? Why had she never heard of it before? On the other hand, she had never had the chance to participate in something so exciting. Maybe this was the opportunity she had been waiting for her whole life. Before she could decide, a mysterious man appeared in her garden. He wore a simple brown coat, and his face was full of smiles and warmth. "Hello, Emily," he said in a warm voice. "I hope the letter reached you on time." Although Emily was a little surprised, she didn't feel scared. The man seemed kind and friendly. "Yes, I received the letter," she replied. "It's an invitation to a school I just learned about. What kind of place is it? How do I get there?" The man smiled even wider. "The Academy of Golden Magic is a special place where we don't just learn theory, but also life. It's a school unlike any other," he said. "You'll have the chance to meet wonderful people, learn interesting things, and have amazing adventures. Most importantly, here you will learn how to use your talents and abilities, which you already have, but are waiting to be revealed." Emily felt her heart beat faster. This sounded amazing. But she also had a question that immediately came to her mind. "But how will I get there?" she asked. "I don't know where it is." The man looked at her with a smile. "Don't worry. Here's the key to our school," he said, handing her a small golden key. "This is a magical key that will open the gateway to a world full of mysteries. Now, all you need to do is be ready for an adventure, and everything will become clear." Emily took the key in her hand. Surprised, but excited, she started to think about what to do next. The man saw her hesitation and decided to encourage her. "Remember, Emily," he said softly, "the most important thing is to have courage. In this place, nothing is impossible. Everything depends on how much you believe in your abilities." Emily nodded. She wanted to believe in it. She wanted to explore this mysterious world she had always dreamed of. With a smile, she looked at the man. "And where is this gate?" she asked. The man pointed to a door leading into the garden. It was just an ordinary wooden door that Emily knew very well, but at that moment, it looked completely different. Emily felt that something had changed. She took a deep breath and stepped through the threshold. Suddenly, a completely different world appeared before her. She was in a place that looked like a vast, beautiful garden, full of flowers, trees, and plants she had never seen before. Colorful leaves fell from the sky, and plants that glowed in the dark grew on the ground. In the distance, she saw a huge building that looked like a palace, with tall towers and windows full of mysterious light. "This is it," said the man, pointing to the building. the Academy of Golden Magic. Welcome to our world." Emily was enchanted. What she saw exceeded her wildest imagination. With every step, she was filled with more astonishment. She was sure that an incredible adventure awaited her, full of amazing discoveries. "You'll see, Emily, everything is possible if you only have the courage," the man added as he walked toward the palace. Emily looked up at the sky, smiling to herself. She knew this was the beginning of something special. Soon, full of excitement, she passed through the gates of the school. The doors to endless possibilities opened before her. Would she be able to uncover the secrets of this extraordinary place? Emily couldn't wait for the adventures that were already waiting for her. "Welcome to the Academy of Golden Magic," greeted a woman who approached her with a warm smile. She had long silvery hair and wore a flowing gown that shimmered like armor made of stars. "I am Professor Lysandra. I am glad you made it. You're right on time. I invite you to your first class." Emily felt a thrill of emotion. This was the first lesson, and she already felt that everything around her was like something from her most beautiful dreams. "Will I learn to cast spells here?" Emily asked, looking around at the world around her, which seemed full of magic. "Yes, Emily," replied Professor Lysandra, placing a hand on her shoulder. "At the Academy of Golden Magic, we learn to use the magic that is within us, the kind of magic that makes the world around us more beautiful and harmonious. We'll start with the basics." Emily felt joy growing in her heart. This was exactly what she had been looking for. A place that combined her love for mysteries with the opportunity to learn and grow. Professor Lysandra led her to a room where other children were sitting. They were all in groups, holding wands and reading books filled with mysterious spells. Emily sat in the spot indicated by Professor Lysandra, next to a group of children who greeted her with a smile. The students seemed as though they already knew this place and its rules very well. "Today, we will learn how to harness the energy of nature to perform magic," said Professor Lysandra, her voice filled with confidence and wisdom. "Each of us has the ability to sense the energy around us. Magical spells are based on that energy. Sometimes, a spell involves calling this energy to us, and sometimes it involves sending it out to help others." Emily held in her hand a small wand she had received as a welcome gift. At first, it felt heavy, but after a moment, she felt it begin to emit a subtle warmth. She focused, recalling Professor Lysandra's words. She had to sense the energy, but how? "Close your eyes," said Professor Lysandra. "Focus on your breath. Feel its rhythm. When you feel calm, take out your wand and imagine energy flowing from it." Emily felt warmth in her hands, as if the wand were responding to every movement she made. This was magic. Magic she had never felt before. In her mind, a vision of a tree full of flowers appeared, growing in the blink of an eye. Professor Lysandra looked at her and smiled. "Excellent, Emily," she said. "You felt the energy, didn't you? Now, use it to create a magical flower. Use your imagination and let the magic come to life before you." Emily closed her eyes again and extended her wand. She began to imagine the flower she was holding. Suddenly, she felt the wand begin to vibrate, and tiny glowing particles appeared in the air. When she opened her eyes, she saw a small flower emerging from her hand, growing quickly into full bloom. All the students watched her in awe. Emily couldn't believe she had done it. She felt as though she had just discovered a new world. "Well done, Emily," cried Professor Lysandra. "That was true plant magic. You used the energy in a natural and beautiful way. In this school, each of you will learn to use magic in a way that not only helps you, but also the world around you." Emily felt an immense joy. This was magic she could understand and control, magic that was a part of herself and everything around her. She knew this was just the beginning of her adventure. After the lesson, Emily met Sophie, a friend who invited her to take a walk through the school's extensive gardens. "You know, Emily," Sophie said, smiling, "in this school, magic is everywhere. In the plants, in the stones, in the music. All we need to do is see it. Sometimes, it's enough just to open our eyes." Emily felt that Sophie was right. This was a school that allowed her to discover magic in every moment, in every tiny detail. "I'm sure that with every day, I will discover more about myself and my abilities," Emily said. The next day, Emily woke up full of joy and excitement. She knew that at the Academy of Golden Magic, another lesson full of mysteries, discoveries, and surprises awaited her. After breakfast, Emily headed to the garden where today's classes were held. Professor Lysandra greeted all the students with a warm smile. This time, the lesson was about air magic, how to tame the wind and use it for their purposes. Emily was very curious about how one could manipulate something as intangible as air. "Today, we will learn how to communicate with the wind, how to sense its movements, and how to use its power in magic," said Professor Lysandra. "Air is incredibly powerful, though invisible. It is full of energy that, depending on how you use it, can change everything around you. In this school, we learn to respect every form of magic, not to control it, but to work with it." Emily listened intently to the lecture. She knew that air magic was not only beautiful, but also useful in daily life. When she looked at the world around her, she could feel a gentle breeze moving the leaves on the trees and making the flowers sway to an invisible melody. "Before we begin, let's try to feel the air around us," continued Professor Lysandra, scattering small flower petals on the ground. "Feel how it surrounds your heart and soul. Close your eyes and let the wind flow into your consciousness." Emily closed her eyes and took a deep breath. She felt the wind surround her on all sides, as if it wanted to guide her and show her something extraordinary. Suddenly, she realized the wind was becoming something more. It was like a living being that responded to her thoughts. This sensation was both light and powerful. It was as if she could lift herself into the air without any effort. "Now, open your eyes and try to send your energy to the wind," asked Professor Lysandra. "Help it feel your presence." Emily tried, focusing on the movement of the air around her. She extended her hand, and the wind, as if summoned, gently began to surround her. At first, it was a slight breeze, then a stronger wind that lifted her hair and made her feel as light as a feather. She smiled to herself, feeling the magic becoming a part of her body. With every breath, she felt the energy of the air become more distinct. Professor Lysandra looked at Emily with a smile. "Great, Emily. You're starting to understand how air magic works. The wind is not just something we feel on our skin. It is also something we can use to communicate with nature and influence the world around us." Emily was thrilled. She understood that every form of magic at the Academy of Golden Magic was a blend of nature, imagination, and energy that flowed through the world. She knew that every next lesson would be an opportunity to discover something new, and air magic was just the beginning. After class, Emily and Sophie eagerly discussed the exciting day they had. Both girls were proud of their magical achievements. They talked about air magic and how the slightest breeze could change the reality around them. Emily now looked at the world from a new perspective. She knew that air, which had seemed so ordinary and invisible, could be seen and felt at any moment. A few days later, at the Academy of Golden Magic, Emily felt that the moment for her most important challenge was approaching. Professor Lysandra gathered the students in a room full of round stones, each emanating a soft, warm aura. The room was full of calm, but Emily knew something was about to happen. She could feel the energy growing in the air. "Today, you will work on creating magical structures," said Professor Lysandra, looking at everyone carefully. "You will use everything you have learned. You will create something that will unite all the elements, not just for yourselves, but for others as well. Today, we will create a magical object that will be full of energy, strength, and beauty." Emily felt her heart beat faster. This lesson was going to be something that surpassed her imagination. Combining all the elements into one? It seemed impossible, but Emily had a feeling that this was the moment she had been waiting for. Professor Lysandra raised her hands, and beams of light began to emerge from her fingers, dancing in the air, forming shapes as if they were creating bridges made of invisible threads. There was something extraordinary about it, something that captured everyone's attention. "This is magic that arises from the combination of our forces," she explained. "Magic that can connect the physical world with the invisible one. Today, as you create, remember that it's not just about the power of the elements, but also your intention. What do you want to create? What beauty do you want to present to the world?" Emily began to close her eyes, trying to feel the inner harmony that united all the elements. She felt the energy of air, water flowing through her body, fire lighting her heart, and the earth that formed the foundation of everything. She tried to imagine how these elements could work together to create something extraordinary. A subtle energy began to emanate from her hands. Slowly, in the center of the room, small waves of water began to swirl in the rhythm of the air, and the earth beneath them started to tremble lightly. From the center of the vortex, fiery sparks emerged, forming extraordinary shapes that united all four elements. From each of these elements, a magical sphere formed, each one with a different color and shape. The air had a delicate blue color, the water was transparent and shimmering like crystal, the fire had a bright orange hue, and the earth, a warm, deep brown. These four spheres began to move toward each other, forming what looked like a bridge between the four elements. When they united, a brilliant light burst from their centers, as if each of them was passing something to the other element. The magic of air, water, fire, and earth had become one. Emily opened her eyes and saw what she had created standing before her. It was a beautiful golden fountain, with water reflecting all the elements. The water gently rose in the air, forming delicate, luminous columns that swirled around the central point, as if they were living beings. Fire danced around them, and the earth at the base of the fountain created a harmonious balance, as if the entire wonder was stable and perfect. It was a symbol of unity among the elements, a symbol of magic that could connect the world in a beautiful and powerful way. "Emily," said Professor Lysandra, looking with admiration at what Emily had created. "You've created something extraordinary. This magical object will be a source of energy for the entire academy. It will serve all who come here, giving them the strength to learn, but also reminding them of the importance of harmony among the elements." Emily stood, looking at what she had created. She knew it was something special, something that went beyond all expectations. In her heart, a new power had been born, the power to understand that true magic doesn't lie in control, but in harmony. After the lesson, Professor Lysandra and the other students approached Emily, thanking her for creating something that would bring joy and strength to all. "Emily, you created something incredible," said Sophie with a smile. This fountain will be a symbol of everything you've learned, but also of what magic can give to the world. Many more adventures await you. But remember, harmony is the most powerful magic you can possess. Emily smiled, feeling that in this place she had discovered not only magic but herself. It was a true adventure. And what will the next day bring? That will remain a sweet, magical mystery. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for new fairy tales every day.